Hey there, viewers. I have another video for you today, or tonight rather, because it is very late as I make this. So, it's late and I couldn't sleep, so I decided that, it was about high time I make a video. So, here I have my just about brand new Panasonic Ultra Pro commercial vacuum cleaner. Now, I bought this for $109 brand new off of a vacuum retailer on eBay. This model easily goes over $200. I've seen it on most sites for $299. So it is quite an expensive machine. But other than that, price never matters when it comes to the quality of a vacuum cleaner. I mean, well, it's a factor, but well. Anyway, Panasonic machines are some of my favorite bypass upright machines to use. They've manufactured cleaners for Kenmore, like the notorious Whisper Tone upright. Canister, although there was an upright. And this design is a, ironically, late 90s, early 2000s design when Kenmore, for Sears, had machines like this made by Panasonic that were designed almost exactly like this with a few different cosmetic features. Like the Kenmore version was 11 amps and it was called a power path, and it did not have HEPA filtration as this one supposedly does. Other than that, this is considered commercial quality, and that is because the hose is a little thicker, I'd say. I mean, it seems like it, but it's a stretch hose, but it seems like it's a little thicker compared to the plastic hose that I had on my old Power Path machine. And also, obviously, the commercial cord, but other than that, residential or not, this machine is a very well built cleaner and will outclean a lot of cleaners I've seen on the market today. And the agitation is fantastic, and it filters really well, and it has phenomenal suction. So, as I'm blabbering away, I'm doing a quick overview of the machine. The handle grip is a lot different than the Power Path version by Kenmore, or rebadged by Kenmore. The Kenmore one has ridges, and it doesn't have this little lip. It's a more, user-friendly grip for some reason. I don't really know. And this one, being a commercial machine, has a large cord hook, a single large cord hook, and just for wrapping the cord up. Which reminds me, on this cord, probably way 50 feet down on the cord, there is a little Velcro strap that you wrap around the cord once it's all wrapped up. Also, here is, I believe this is for blockage. So if there's a blockage in there, you can clear that out with this little port here. That's what I would assume it's for. Here's the little stamp here. Let's see if I can get the camera in focus. There we go. So it's model number MCGG28302. Please pardon that interruption. Anyway, here's the model number in case you didn't catch it. So yes, another thing about this cleaner is it's a 10 amp version. So Kenmore did manufacture a 10 amp version of this too. I mean, not exactly this, but and here is a bypass valve for if the cleaner gets clogged. So anybody knows if a vacuum cleaner gets clogged, all airflow is restricted, so it puts a lot of strain on the motor. So in order for that not to happen, this bypass valve here, which is spring-loaded, opens so air can get in and the motor can be spared. So it's a very simple alternative to protecting the motor, but it's very effective too. Here's the onboard tools. We have ourselves a pretty basic setup here. As you look into this little board here, you see a long crevice tool, so you can get all your crannies and nooks and even up high above floor, and a dusting brush. So since this is the only kind of brushing unit you have with the machine, the brushes are soft, but they're not extremely soft. So you can use this for certain brushing, like maybe some upholstery. So I really don't think it's meant to be an upholstery brush, but that's what I use it for sometimes if I have some cleaning to do. So it does pretty well. And it also has something called a quick draw wand, which is exclusive to Panasonic. It's an extension tube that's connected to the hose without being, well, with being on board, but being connected to the hose as well. So you don't have to separately put it on the hose. And the hose is connected to it with a little, this little bracket here that slides into this. I can't really word it very well, but it's a very effective way at holding the assembly together. The stretch hose stretches pretty far as well. I would demonstrate better, but I'm pretty lazy. And another interesting thing about all Panasonics in general, while this is difficult with one hand, there we go, is that the hose, well, the hoses on these upright units are always held in from the back, which is kind of cool. I mean, there's different Panasonic uprights, obviously, without the chrome handle, which I find very nice, but other than that, it's a pretty good design. Also, the commercial cord comes a little different than standard wired cord. It's like a pigtail. It comes with this like a 6-inch pigtail that feeds down and connects into an extension cord. That's really good because if you, let's say, damage this cord, and granted that it's not the first 6 inches of the cord, then you can easily replace the cord with an extension cord that you buy from the hardware store. So, and it's also held together by this little plastic bracket piece right here, so it's pretty effective at holding this cord assembly in place. Excellent quality, and it's a really good move by Panasonic there because you can replace the cord without any problems. Going down to the business end of the machine, let's see if I can turn it this way. There we go. Pardon my poor camera skills tonight. Like most Panasonics, or actually, never mind, pardon me, this is a little different compared to what you'd see on most Panasonic commercial uprights. Now, most of you would expect to see a metal brush roll and a metal base plate. Now, these Ultra Pro vacuum cleaners are based off of older Kenmore machines, so you have yourself a wooden roller and a plastic base plate. Now, that's not exactly a turn down for me, but I would like a metal base plate. This brush roll is still great quality. These bristles are long and stiff. They're long and stiff bristles, so they come with maximum contact on the carpet if you have your height adjusted right. And like I said before, the agitation is phenomenal, so that's another good thing. And the cleaner head goes down by this little metal latch here, and it slides off this little nub on the motor housing, and that's lubricated by some kind of grease or something, and that just slides down, and this is a floating head design. It comes down. Another thing, this is a 14-inch cleaning path, so you got yourself a pretty wide path here. And the height adjustment, moving up, is a slide position height adjustment. Oop, let's get this camera in position. Pardon that. And it slides up and down. The appropriate height for this one is 2 because, or for this carpet is 2 because this carpet isn't exactly medium pile. It's, well, more or less a thin medium pile. It's got the Ultra Pro label on it. Another thing is the bag door is just like the older Kenmore machines. It it just pops off if you pry it off like this, and it just pops off as you pull up. But I'm not going to do that because it's kind of difficult to do with one hand, and I'd rather not do that. So I'm just going to take the bag door off real quick and show you the bag assembly. This machine takes Panasonic Type U bags, and it has an electrostatic pre-motor filter too, so it's really effective at filtering the air. And these bags filter really well as well for paper bags, and they fit really well on the little fill tube as well. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to put this machine to the test. Now here on my carpet we have a mixture of fine particles such as grit that was vacuumed out of my carpet by my sanitaire, as well as dog hair and dust bunnies and even oatmeal. So all this stuff has been worked into the carpet really well. All this stuff is what, well, except for the oatmeal, is what gathers into your carpets and gets deep into the fibers. So without further ado, let's see if this Panasonic can remove a fair amount of dirt in one pass. So this may be a bit of an extreme example, but it's a good way to test this the performance on this Panasonic. Alright, not too bad for one pass. As you can see, there are lines of shame here. And there's a couple of carpet stains that clung onto the very thin particles in the oatmeal and things alike. So overall, you can see scatters and bits of crushed up oatmeal. Let's get this thing in focus. And you can see the carpet lines and every which way. But other than that, with everything considering, that was only one pass. This thing still cleans phenomenally well. Oh, well, excuse me. There's my new distraction. Hey, Lily. So let's just get the rest of this mess up. Pardon my slurred speech this evening. It's just been a tiring night. So without further ado, here we go. Alright, so that was my video on this Panasonic Ultra Pro commercial vacuum cleaner. Although it wasn't the best, I know I could have done better. I hope you all enjoyed it.